In my opinion, you can't beat a back loop only single crochet ribbed brim for a beanie. It is nice and stretchy. You can use a different yarn to the rest of the beanie or use the same yarn. And this is what one of my completed brims looks like. On the bottom left hand corner there is the long tail of yarn that can be used for the seam for either just the brim or for both the brim and the beanie, so for that reason I like to have a nice long tail. And diagonally opposite it is the working yarn loop, and that is in this case secured by a blue stitch marker. And when creating the Tunisian crochet foundation row, you slip the Tunisian crochet hook through this loop, and this will be the first stitch. Here is another brim, and the anatomy is exactly the same in all of them, and you will see that there are two holes between each rib at the top, and these are the best places to use to insert the stitches for the Tunisian crochet foundation row. The loop on the hook is the first stitch. Now I am pushing the crochet hook through the first large space, yarning over and pulling up a loop, and that is the second stitch. Now for the third one, into the large space, yarn over, pull up a loop, and here's the next hole. Push the hook through the hole, yarn over and pull up a loop, and here's the next, and so on. Just keep going, adding loops onto the Tunisian crochet hook until the edge of the brim is reached. At this point it is worth counting the loops on the hook and making a note of it. Also, it is an opportunity to add or lose a loop if an odd or even number of stitches is required for the project. When the loops have been counted, chain one, and as always it's very useful to mark the end of the row, which will be the last stitch of the forward pass, and the marker goes in the space between the two vertical bars on the left side and one vertical bar on the right at the edge of the fabric. And now simply do a normal return pass until there is one loop left on the hook. So yarn over, pull through two loops, yarn over, pull through two loops, etc. I'm now completing the return pass of the Tunisian foundation row. Once the return pass has been completed with one loop left on the hook, the forward pass for any Tunisian crochet stitch can begin. And for demonstration purposes I'm just going to do a few Tunisian full stitches. So that is how you can create a Tunisian crochet foundation row using the brim, and just keep going with the Tunisian crochet stitch of choice until the fabric is of the desired height and shape.